Addy Soldiers. It's been a while since we last saw each other. You've gotten so tall. Like everybody after the holidays, very tired, very burnt out, as you can tell by this recent hair chop. But I did not give myself bangs. So I would just like a little recognition for that amount of self-control. But truly, the last couple weeks, I've just been so unmotivated. I have not had any ideas. I'm fresh out of ideas. However, as I am known to do, I went and bought a lot of books this month. So what better way to create content and gain social capital and give entertainment than to show a book haul? What better way to create content that will please the people and yet also allow me to write off these books on my taxes? And I will proclaim that I bought all of these books myself. However, there were a few gift cards and employee discounts involved. So without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, and buckle in as we go over the inaugural book haul of 2024. First book I did buy because I want to read more romance novels, but there's also an ulterior motive. Because I recently got a new bookshelf, bookshelf reorganization video coming soon, but then I realized, well, I'm gonna need to fill that bookshelf, and I want to expand my romance section. So I need to buy more romance novels. Bookworm math. So when I was in one of my local indie bookstores the other day, I found and picked up Tastes Like Shakar by Nisha Sharma. When I saw that there was a continuation of the If Shakespeare Was an Auntie series, with Tastes Like Shakar being a Much Ado About Nothing retelling, which is my favorite Shakespeare play of all time, I knew I had to buy it. And this follows the best friends of both Karina and Prem from Dating Dr. Dill, Bobby and Bunty, as the two of them have to team up begrudgingly as they are helping plan the wedding. But there's someone behind the scenes sabotaging the wedding, and both of them also are trying to overcome their differences of the past despite their sizzling chemistry. I loved Dating Dr. Dill. It was spicy and so fun and so heartwarming, really full of community. I was promised hilarity and high drinks, so Nisha, you better deliver. Speaking of romance, why don't we talk about another retelling that is of the most classic love story, Pride and Prejudice. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm an English major. I have only read Pride and Prejudice once, and one time was enough. I know a lot of people love it. I know it is the classic, the movie with the hand flex. I get it, okay? But oh my freaking god, there are so many goddamn freaking useless Pride and Prejudice retellings because people know that's an easy thing to put into the search tags and people will buy it. That being said, when I heard that there was a trans Pride and Prejudice retelling by Gabe Novoa called Most Ardently with a cover done by one of my favorite artists of all time, Marlo Loon, click add to cart. Everybody needs to just take a moment and enjoy this cover, okay? Look at it. Just soak it in. Let it resonate with you. This is part of the Remix Classic series where Elizabeth is in fact a trans boy named Oliver, and his family is trying to get him ready to marry, but instead he falls in love with Darcy and his friend Bingley, who are newly in from the country, and he has to decide whether he's going to be his family's perfect daughter or if he is going to live authentically as his true self. I think I also have really high hopes for this because I just read something kind of on a similar vein, which was The Spirit Bears Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. This is a horror with a trans boy in the early 1800s, and it is awful, but so good. And so I feel like I wanted all those themes, but like with a happier ending and less body horror. So yeah, I'm really freaking excited about this. I'm also probably going to buddy read it with my girlfriend because one of her favorite books of all time is Pride and Prejudice, so I think that's gonna be like real cute or whatever. Continuing to speak on romance novels, particularly romantasy novels, so that I could expand my internal catalog system of fun romance fantasy books that I also bought so that I could fill up my new bookshelf. I don't have to explain myself to you. I am 28 years old, I have money and prospects, and I make excellent boiled potatoes, so suck it. I went and did something that have I ever done this? I have not. We're reaching new ground in 2024. I went and bought an entire series, having only read the first one, these 3 books that I just bought should actually be 4, but the 4th one's not here yet because it's shipping out later. Oh, I already showed the cover. Well, it's the Elisekova Married to Magic series. So I got Deal with the Elf King, which is a fairy book that is a Hades and Persephone retelling that I have already read before. What happened to my copy? Uncertain. A Dance with the Fae Prince, which is another arranged marriage fairy novel, but this one is a retelling of Eros and Psyche. And Duel with the Vampire Lord, which, as far as I know, is just vampires and not fairies, but who knows? Female vampire assassin who's like taken by the vampire dude for some reason that she learns is not horrible. And then darkly imagined retelling of Snow White meets Beauty and the Beast. And then I also ended up buying Duet with the Siren Duke, which I am assuming has something to do with merpeople. Oh, so it's deal, dance, duel, and duet. Oh, that makes so much sense. Continuity. But I really like Elisekova. I've met her, she seems really cool. The Air Awakens series has such a special place in my heart. And the Alchemists of Loom saga is one of my favorites of all time. It's like gas lamp steampunk dragons. It's so freaking cool. And yeah, I wanted to like up my repertoire of romantasy novels because I haven't read a lot that I really like. And I feel like I'm going to like these. Wait a minute. Why are you taller? Oh my god. Freaking really? I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but this one is just the tiniest bit bigger than the other ones. How fucking dare you? Okay, so speaking of romantasy, yet again, killing it on the transitions today. I'm a little bit nervous about this next one because, okay, first of all, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look, but, wait. Oh, but wait, oh my god, Sanctuary of the Shadow by Aurora Asher is freaking beautiful. And yes, I got the fancy straight edge edition from my workplace because I work in book distribution and absolutely take advantage of my coworkers. Thank you, Christina, you're the best. Okay, so the reason I'm worried about this is because it's pitched as Magic Circus romantasy. And I was like, fuck me up with some of that shit. Then I heard from people that like they escape the circus and run away. So there's like much less circus than promised. And I was like, all right, fine. You know, they focus more on the romance. Okay. But then I read the first chapter the other day. It was not good. And like, look, everybody is entitled to their own opinions and standards when it comes to the kind of books that they want to read. I get it. But considering this book is pitched as like a dark fantasy romance, the first chapter read almost like a middle grade novel, and I am nervous. I'm probably gonna give it a second chance because it's just so damn pretty. And I know that it's toxic ex behavior. You should not be taking an ex back just because they're pretty. But god damn it, if I'm not gonna allow this back into my life for a little while. And like, I'm not trying to pray for anyone's downfall. Like, I truly do hope this is good. So, stay tuned. Okay, so I'm out of segues. So we have 2, 3... Oh no, I do have one more. Speaking of books that I've been in meetings about, we're back in business, baby. If you've been on any of my social medias for a little while, you will know that I am an absolute fiend for a Hades and Persephone retelling. But now because the market is so saturated, I, like I'm assuming many other readers, are bored. And I want something new. I want a twist on it. I want to incorporate more aspects of like different fantasy worlds and different mythologies. So we're starting to get it with fairies, right? Because we saw that in like Akotar and like Elisekova. But somebody named Amy Avery has created a book that is an eternal autumn realm, the beautiful seasonal mythos that is the longest autumn. Our main character, Tyrn, is one of 4 humans whose job it is to usher the gods of each season through this magical mirror and make sure that the seasons continue correctly. But this year, as Tyrn and the god Autumn are passing through the mirror, it shatters and leaves them both stranded in the human world. And eternal autumn means that crop failure and starvation are threatening the mortals, and the longer that Autumn is in the human world, he's slowly starting to lose his godliness. So people on both sides of the mirror are scrambling to put it back together and reset the seasons, while Tyrn is also learning more about her true self. Look, I'm a simple girl. You promised me gods, mystery, betrayal, espionage, high society, maybe an enemy with a master of poisons. Like, I'm gonna get it. This disturbance of the force is a very unique fantasy plot, especially with the mirror and like ushering gods between worlds. Like, that is honestly the ultimate job. Are they hiring? Hey, I bet it would be contract work because you only gotta do it for 1 season of the year. Though I suppose this book is an example of the most extreme overtime you'd ever have to do. Anyway, she's very beautiful and seems like a doable length that I could get through before spring hits. Okay, now I am officially out of segues, so I'm just gonna talk about some books that I saw recommended to me online. That's right, even an influencer can be influenced. Now I have seen this like all over the internet lately, but the very first person who I ever saw this from was Ayushi from Bookworm Bullet, who recommended So Let Them Burn by Camila Cole. Jamaican fantasy with dragons. That's all. Oh, I didn't even see on the back! There he is. What a little guy. So our main character, Farron Vincent, can channel the power of the gods, and at 15, she won a war for her people against the dragon-riding Langlish Empire, and now at 17, she's known as a hero, but also doesn't know what to do with herself. So when she's asked to attend this peace summit, she thinks that she's just gonna go, speak a couple lines, and then get the hell out of there and like, girl, same, meet me at the buffet table. But then her older sister bonds with an enemy dragon, and then the gods speak to her and say that to keep the peace, she has to then kill her sister. Which, rude. So she's trying to figure out a way that she does not have to do that, and then her sister ends up like uncovering these deep dark secrets of the enemy empire. This is a powerhouse blurb team, okay? We got Chloe Gong, Hannah Witten, Naima Forma, Chelsea Abdullah, Ava Reed, and Aiden Thomas. What? I went to 5 different bookstores to track down this thing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if maybe like they didn't allocate enough units for Canada. The bookstore I ended up finding this at was like a big bookstore. Like it had a lot of stuff and it only had 2 copies. So I can only assume that this is selling like mad. But anyways, I finally have a copy in my book dragon claws, and I can't wait to start it. Speaking of books, I can't wait to get answers for Miss Olivia Blake, Miss Alexine Farrow Fullmouth. You have a lot of explaining to do, so I bought the Atlas Complex, which is 3rd in the Atlas 6 trilogy. After the end of the Atlas Complex, I threw that book across my living room. I was in distress. So, if this book does not deliver, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be bad. This is what happens when your parents raise a goody two-shoes child. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I will make a fuss about it. And not only a moment for the cover, but also a moment for the hardback. It's so pretty! And furthermore, a moment for the end papers. Where's an image? Where's an image that I can look at? Oh, ho, 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 illustrations. For some reason, this series is polarizing. Like, people either love it or hate it, and I'm in the love it category. It's so twisty and dark and queer and weird and just full about horrible people who are all trying to outmaneuver one another in this dark academia fantasy novel that really plays with the idea of like time and other dimensions. So if you don't like the Atlas 6 series, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to give you a demerit. Oh, that's fun. My final 2 books are both fairy books, which, surprise, surprise. I saw both of these online and was very excited to get my little paws on them. So the first one being one that I ordered from work. Now, I love fairy novels, but I like the dark, twisty, weird fairy novels. I like the corrupted nature magic type of fae novel. And that's what I was promised in the synopsis of this book. So I picked up The Buried and the Bound by Rachel Hassan. Oh, hi there, it's editing Rachel. So randomly parts of this file corrupted, not all of it, just parts of it, including a synopsis for this book. So let me just give you a quick synop. Our main character is a young hedge witch named Aziza, who is pretty used to all the regular chaos of dealing with the paranormal realm in Massachusetts. But then there's rumors that start of this dark entity on the edge of the forest that's like offering people bargains and stealing away fae and just doing all these things that would give the head of the HOA a conniption. So she teams up with local boy Leo, who has recently figured out that he has a curse on him and he's trying to figure out how to break that, along with a young, handsome, mysterious necromancer, and the 3 of them have to learn to trust each other and figure out what's going on with this new threat in town. Ever since I read Tithe, or Tith, or Tithe, or however you say it, from Holly Black, I've been chasing that high, and it's been like at least 15 years. And I have a feeling that this might be the answer to all my hopes and prayers and sacrifices that I made to that one dark god in the forest. Anyway, I'm gonna go on a very similar rant in just a second here, so here's past Rachel again. Like I said before, I'm 28, I was born in 1995, which technically makes me either a very young millennial or a elder Gen Z, and somehow I feel like both all the time. I started reading YA in the mid to late 2000s. The fairy craze didn't really kick off until like after I left high school. Just like how I differ from my parents in my teenagehood, you know, being able to like use a cell phone and have the internet. You youngins nowadays have access to this beautiful array of all these diverse fairy novels, and I don't think the youths understand what they have. And I'm so happy that all of you do, because you guys deserve it. It's not like healing your inner child. It's like appeasing the inner gremlin teenager. And last, but certainly not least, this is a book that I'm so freaking excited for. I'm gonna freaking vibrate out of existence. At the time that I bought this book, this was not out in Canada yet for another week. So either the bookstore put it out early, or Goodreads is wrong. But whatever the case may be, I finally have my hands on a copy of Faybound by Sarah Al-Arifi. Last year, I devoured her debut novel, which was The Final Strife, which is an Arabian African fantasy novel that's sapphic and it has all these court politics and cool powers depending on blood. And now we get a new fantasy trilogy that is Fay and Elves with a fully POC cast that follows two elven warrior sisters who get exiled beyond their border walls and end up falling into the land of the Fae, which the Fae have said to be disappeared for many millennia, but they're just here and oh my god, what are we gonna do now? And the words people are using to describe this on the back of the book are making my English major brain so happy. Opulent. Oh, such a good word. Sumptuous. Enthralling. Sarah Al-Arifi, are you trying to seduce me? Oh, it's those damn fairies. They'll get you every time. Like, truly, it would not be difficult to seduce me away to a fairy court because my hubris would absolutely be my downfall. Because I know enough about fairy lore that I could be like, all right, you know, answer questions with questions, never say thank you, don't eat the fairy food, always take the left path. Like, I would do pretty good for probably like 20 minutes, and then something would happen, and then I'd be doomed to live under the mountain forever. What if I didn't have to pay taxes, though? Ooh, it's a hard trade-off. I have full faith that Sarah Al-Arifi is going to deliver. She's gonna UPS, FedEx, no, not Canada Post, they suck. She is going to UPS Express deliver. And now I have a beautiful new diverse romantasy that I am going to be able to fill my new empty bookshelves with. And that is that on that. Thank you all for joining me this evening as we went over what blew out my book budget this month. Despite me earlier saying that I felt very unmotivated this month, that's really only been to create content. I've actually been very motivated to read. So I've read like I think already like 8 books, and I'm planning on probably finishing like 10 by the time the month is up, so like, your girl's on a roll. Please leave down below if there have been any January releases that you are excited about, or tell me, yet again, which book you think I should read first. I might take that advice, I might not, but, you know, if you want to. I'm open to some gentle bullying. If you've been looking at me all video being like, damn, she looks real cozy, you can get this delightful, very warm Way She Goes hoodie from the link below, and you can use my coupon Rachel15 for 15% off your order, and then you could be as cozy as I am right now, and I am very cozy. Today was also a day where I kind of like sat down and planned out some more content over the next little while, so like I feel like feeling like I'm getting into the swing of things, and this video definitely helped. You know where to click to like the video, you know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!